The height of a tree is 1.75 meters. What is the height in centimeters? Let's go. To do this problem, we have to be able to figure out how many centimeters are in a meter. And there's a clever way to remember it, which could make this problem really short. Or there's a little bit more involved way that if you don't remember how many centimeters are in a meter or any other conversion, we could do this other way too. We'll get there in a minute. Let's start with the clever way. Let me ask you a question that's related. How many cents are in a dollar? 100. How many years are in a century? 100. How many legs does a centipede supposedly have? Supposedly it has 100. I mean, I think they have somewhere between 30 and 40, but supposedly a centipede has 100 legs. Okay, so you get my point here. A cent, C-E-N-T, that's the Latin word for 100. So when I think about centimeters, think about that cents in a dollar or years in a century. It's 100. Cent means 100. So how many centimeters are in a meter? 100. So if I have 1.75 meters and each meter is 100 centimeters, what I need to do is I need to multiply this by 100 to figure out how many centimeters there are. So let's do that. So I'm going to multiply this by 100, but remember when I multiply by a power of a 10, all I have to do is move the decimal over one time. So for every zero here, in other words, I get to move the decimal over one time. So I have two zeros and 100. Therefore, I can move the decimal 1, 2 times. And that's the same thing as multiplying by 100. So multiply by 10 would be 17.5. Multiply by 100 would be 175. So the answer to this is 175 centimeters. And I can get that because if I remember there's 100 centimeters in a meter, then it's kind of a one-step problem. That's all I need to do. But let's say I don't remember that there are exactly 100 centimeters in a meter. I get confused and I kind of forget if it was the 10 or maybe there were 1,000, because some of these other ones are kind of like that too. The other way we can do this is we can remember about King Henry. What do I mean? Remember, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. This is a really dumb way, but it kind of sticks for some reason. It's a really dumb way that sticks to remember all the metric prefixes and therefore to remember how to convert. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. That stands for kilo, hecta, deca, base, deci, centi, and milli. And so if I want to convert metric, I can remember this chart and I can use this chart to convert within the metric system. What I mean is this. We have 1.75 meters. And meters, those are an example of my base unit, because my base unit in metric could be seconds or meters or liters or something like that. We have 1.75 meters, and we're trying to convert to centimeters. That's over here, that's the C. How do we do that? Well, we can use the chart and we can say, well, I'm gonna move over one place, and then I move over another place. And since I move over two places on this chart, I can move the decimal 1, 2 times to the right to convert the meters to the centimeters. Notice this is exactly the same thing we did by multiplying by 100 and moving the decimal twice because of the 2 powers of 10. In other words, this chart is kind of like a visual way to do the thing that you would do if you remembered the conversion factor in the first place. So one way or the other, we move the decimal point twice. We get that 1.75 meters is the same thing as 175 centimeters. Therefore, our answer here, if we're very careful, is A, 175 centimeters. And if you got that, good thinking.